Welcome in all my UFL fans, football fans, and most importantly, degenerate gambling fans. How we doing out there today? You know what it is. It's another episode of Sink or Swim, Week 5 edition. As you can see, the record is perfectly average. Okay, this last week really beat us up. Uh, the Arlington Renegades felt like everybody was riding them. Felt like this was their week to win against the Houston Roughnecks, but then the Roughnecks come out of nowhere and take that one away. We had an ugly lightning delay game with the Defenders and the Stallions. Uh, just a rough week, man. Rough weekend gambling wise. I don't think I'm the only one. I've heard a couple other podcasts today that had a rough week as well, so it makes me feel a little bit better, but makes my pockets feel a little bit lighter. So let's try to recoup that thing. The parlay, we're not even going to look at that. That's 0-4 right now, but you know what that means. Hey, when we get that first parlay this week right here, it's going to be magical, baby. All right, this is the one this week. I've been cooking. I've been in the lab. This is the one. So let's go for the picks of this week. Just real quick, guys. I'm no sharp by any means. I'm not a self-described sharp. I'm not a gambling expert. I'm not a betting expert. I'm a fan of football. I watch the UFL enough to where I think I've got a little bit of a lean on some of these guys. I'm not taking all of these bets personally. I just put out what I'm thinking, my picks. I want to give you guys a nice little, we got against the spread if you're one of those betters, if you want to be a money line better, if you're a totals better, whatever. I want to give you my takes on where I'm leaning in the week. Okay. All right. So here we go, baby. Maybe one day we'll turn into a sharp. Okay. One day we're going to be sharps over around here and everybody's going to be making money off of sink or swim. And you can tell people, hey, I was around back when that guy stunk at gambling. So, first game of the weekend. Well, again, we've got regional games this week. So, this game will be going on at the same time as the Ruffnecks Stallions game, 7 o'clock, Fox. Check your local listings. Birmingham Stallions against the Ruffnecks is going to be the game that I think 85, 90% of the country is going to see. I saw the little regional map. San Antonio and Renegades is not going to be the main show, the main attraction, if you will. Which it is what it is. The Brahmas are good. The Renegades suck. You got the Birmingham Stallions, who are, undefeated, playing a Roughnecks team that's kind of bad, but people are watching for the Stallions. So, first game of the weekend, San Antonio Brahmas at the Arlington Renegades, a home game technically for both teams because everybody lives and practices in Arlington. So the Brahmas players will have no jet lag this week, no travel this week, no nothing, man. They're going to wake up on Saturday, go play the game, be in their beds that night. For that reason, maybe if they were playing this in San Antonio, the home field advantage is almost a backwards thing. If this was Arlington Renegades at San Antonio, both teams would be traveling. There's really no rest advantage for either team. So this one being in Arlington, I like the Brahmas even more so. -2.5, I like it a lot. Quentin Dormady came in for Chase Garbers, looked very well, very serviceable. The Brahmas defense was absolutely on fire. The Renegades offense is also a pretty powerful offense. I think they're like top 2 or 3 in most categories. I believe Luis Perez is still leading the league in passing yards. So the Brahmas offense the Renegades offense will put up points. I think the Brahmas offense has also shown that they can put up points no matter what quarterback's back there with AJ Smith. It does look like they will be without their running back, Anthony McFarland Jr., the Brahmas, as well as maybe a couple guys on the defense. Looking at the injury reports right now, the Renegades might be without Jalen Redmond, their defensive tackle. Maybe Jamal Carter, one of their safeties. Jalen Redmond's a big one. If he can't go, that'll leave a good bit of room for the Brahmas running backs, John Lovett, Bryson Aline, to maybe get some more holes, some more opportunities. So I like the San Antonio Brahmas a lot in this one. Over 42.5, I also like a lot. Like I said, two offenses that are pretty good at moving up and down the field. I think the Brahmas' red zone defense is probably a little bit better than the Renegades' red zone defense. So I expect the Brahmas to score points when they go down, touchdowns, and then I expect the Renegades to also move the ball, but they might score a couple more field goals. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if I've got San Antonio minus 2.5, we're going to take them on the money line as well. Pretty much all I got for that game, man. Moving on to the game that most of you guys are going to see, Birmingham Stallions at the Houston Ruffnecks. This one's not too bad. It's a bus travel game. So, they're going from Arlington to Houston. I think it's like a 3.5-hour bus ride. Nothing too crazy. We won't have any jet lag. I think a bus ride is much easier than jet. I mean, I've been on both. That's just my opinion. Players probably have a different opinion, but I think a bus ride's much nicer than a plane ride. So, Birmingham Stallions at the Houston Roughnecks. They're going to be playing in the Rice Bowl over there in Houston. We saw the Stallions not cover last week, but that last week game they played was a rain game. It had a lightning delay. They had Matt Corral starting. It seems like huge, ginormous, massive if right here. Okay, because we don't know what Coach Skip Holtz is doing. I don't think Coach Skip Holtz knows what he's doing at quarterback until maybe the day before the game when he has to submit that depth chart. So if the pattern continues, Matt Corral and Adrian Martinez split time in the first two games. Martinez got the full game week 3, and then we just saw Matt Corral get this last game week 4. So if you're a pattern person, you would think, all right, it's time for Adrian Martinez. But again, we don't know how Skip Holtz operates. He's a renegade out there. He does his own thing. He does not give a damn what you think about it, because why should he? He's 4-0, two-time defending champion. So whatever he's been doing has worked. So the Stallions minus 7.5 is very, very contingent on Adrian Martinez being the starting quarterback, which I think he should be. I think he will be. Again, it's Skip Holtz. Take that as you will. Check out the UFM Twitter account. Check out my Twitter account, Stallions UFM, Southern Charm SP. Check out the Stallions account, mostly the United Football Media account. For those that don't know, I run that bad boy. So I'm usually pretty on top of the latest injury updates, depth charts, getting that out for all of you guys. So, like I said, man, if Adrian Martinez is playing in this game, I think the Stallions win easily. Even if Matt Corral's in, I think the Stallions win by about 6. I just don't think, I don't know. I just don't know if Matt Corral is really comfortable. I don't know if he's getting in his head about having to split time and whether that's like weighing on him or something. But when Martinez was out there, man, he put up the best game this season that we've seen out of a quarterback. So give me Stallions minus 7.5. Give me under 42.5 on this one. The Roughnecks have played in 3 games that have gone under out of their 4 games this season. They only went over 1 time. As far as the Birmingham Stallions go, they also go under. So these are 2 teams that have gone under 3 out of 4 times in their games. I like the under 42.5 in this one. 2 pretty stout defenses. Stallions defense going to be looking a little bit different. We just got word this week that Scooby Wright was put on IR for a neck injury. And the neck injury is also severe enough that he's not only going on IR, but probably at the end of the season, it looks like he's going to retire from football. We wish Scooby Wright nothing but the best. Me personally, I would want to see him on the sidelines, in the booth, something like that. He's a UFL, USFL. He's a spring football star. He's a spring football legend. The dude's been in the AAF. He was in the USFL. He's a 2-time USFL champion, okay? The UFL needs to create its own stars, okay? Scooby Wright is a star. Boogie Roberts is on ESPN commercials. He's not in the league right now. He's not even on a team, but he is a star that spring league people know. He's not a random ESPN commentator who just comes in and does this and really doesn't care for it or doesn't take the time to invest into it because they've got all these other ESPN things they got to do on their mind. And UFL is just kind of like a little side job to them. Give me Scooby Wright. Give me Boogie Roberts. Give me people that love spring football, man, to talk about this league. I don't know why we have the ESPN folks on here just strictly talking gambling. I heard a guy back in the first week when I was watching the Showboats. He's like, Vinny Papale had a great year last year for the Breakers. And it's like, dude, he just got signed to the Breakers. Like, he didn't play for the Breakers. He was a free agent because the Showboats didn't protect him. And he got picked up by the Breakers, who then, guess what? Folded, dude. Like, I don't know. Sorry. Went off on a tangent there. Not the episode for this. Back into it. Stallions at Houston Ruffnecks. Stallions minus 7.5, under 42.5. Stallions money line. Stallions money line is the lock. Okay? If there's ever a lock every week, Stallions money line. You throw that bad boy into a parlay, juice them odds up a little bit. Easy peasy. Next game. This looking like the game of the week, personally. I think this should be one of the best games of the week. St. Louis Battlehawks at DC Defenders. The St. Louis Battlehawks have not beat the Defenders since I don't even know when. I know they didn't beat them last year. I know the DC Defenders are completely undefeated at home all the way back to XFL 2020. Everybody's kind of been leaning on that this week. If you listen to any other podcast about UFL betting, and it's hard not to. You know, that DC crowd is legit. They can get the opposing offense off of their mark a little bit. Excuse me. You know, we saw them create some false starts, I think last week or a couple weeks ago against the Ruffnecks. So the DC, they're one of those teams that have a true home field advantage. St. Louis Battlehawks, I think, have the better team. I think their roster is better. I think the DC Defenders have the better coach, and they have the home field advantage. So, and they've got mojo. It seems like they got mojo. They've got a little bit of an aura to them when they go out into Audi Field. Rowdy Audi, the lemon heads and the beer snakes, gang, gang. Okay. So give me the DC Defenders +3. Give me the over 46.5. Neither one of these defenses are really top notch. I think the DC Defenders defense is definitely better than the Battlehawks defense, but they're both kind of middle of the road defenses. The Defenders front seven is very good. You know they're going to blitz you heavy, so their corners are going to be put on islands. The Battlehawks receivers are going to exploit those islands. So I like this one to go over 46.5. I would like to see a shootout in this game, and give me DC on the money line, man. I think DC pulls this one out. I think they remain undefeated at Audi Field. And then if you check out the injury report for the St. Louis Battlehawks, they've only had 1 day of practice on Wednesday. That's on the injury report, and it was rough. It looked very rough. I put it out on the UFM Twitter last night. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of their 9 guys listed on the injury report as did not practice. That's guys like Mateo Durant, the running back they had that had a breakout game a couple weeks ago. That's Darius Shepard, their wide receiver. Austin Faoli, their defensive tackle. Travis Feeney, their linebacker. You know, a couple guys. Hakeem Butler did not practice. So a lot of things kind of going against the Battlehawks this week, especially on their defense as well. So I think the defenders, I think Jordan Teamu has one of those Jordan Teamu games. And I think the DC Defenders take this one, man. Give me DC +3, shootout over 46.5, DC on the money line. Oh, boy. Boy. How about them Memphis Showboats, folks? For those that don't know, I do a Captain's Log show with me, the captain, Brandon. I cover the Memphis Showboats. I've been covering the Tampa Bay Bandits back in USFL 2022. Then they moved to Memphis in 23, and they're still in Memphis in the UFL. So those are my guys. That's my squad. No episode of Captain's Log this week after we got blown out by the Stallions and blown out by the Battlehawks. So it was kind of, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say, guys. I didn't know how to put an episode out and be positive about it. So instead, we'll go over here to Sink or Swim, where I can be negative. So the Memphis Showboats are terrible. Absolutely terrible. Their offensive line is not going to block anybody. They're not going to stop anybody. Case Cookus is on the injury report as limited. His throwing shoulder, throwing arm got banged up last week because the offensive line is just a revolving door. I think Case does play this game. I think he starts probably a couple quarters, the first half or something. And I think it's only a matter of time before he gets pulled, either due to injury or because, like Coach Flip said last week, hey, man, I'm trying to protect you. I don't want to see you die on the field out there. Because that's all Case does every week. He goes out there and dies on the field every week. He'll deliver some balls now, too. He'll stand in that pocket while he's dying and deliver a beautiful ball to a Vinny Papali in the end zone. But the man can only do so much. He can only take so many hits. It's rough down here in Memphis, folks. It's rough. So we got the Panthers going to Memphis, playing in the Liberty Bowl, probably in front of about 8,000 fans. No real home field advantage there. Um, it's Pepper Rogers and Reggie White Memorial Night for the Showboats, and usually I'd put a little more stock into memorial games or like a death game or a baby game, like a player just had a baby, like Mark Gilbert a couple weeks ago on the Stallions. He just had his baby. And then I think he still played that week. So it was like, boom, had a baby. The team's feeling good. Team wants to win for their boy's baby. You know what I'm saying? Their daddy wants to go home to his kid and be like, hey, we're 1-0 when you're in the world. So, I put a little stock into stuff like that. Like if a coach died or something on the staff last week, the boys were playing for that coach this week, nothing. I'm sorry. That might have been a little dark, guys. I'm sorry. But the Pepper Rogers and Reggie White Memorial game at the Liberty Bowl is probably going to be a bit of a stinker. Two very good defenses. The Memphis Showboats defense is still good, I think. I think they're still a top 3, top 4 unit in the league. I think they just get tired being on the field all game long. The Michigan Panthers are without E.J. Perry. They had Danny Etling come in last week. E.J. Perry is going to be done for the season. Other than that, they really don't have any injuries to worry about, the Panthers. Like I said, the Boats got Case Cook is listed as limited. Other than that, there's really not any surprises on the roster on the injury report for the Boats. So this one feels like too easy. Michigan plus 1.5. Michigan at plus money on the money line. I like that a lot, plus 100. And then under 40.5, man, because like I said, these are two teams that have pretty solid defenses and pretty inept offenses. The Boats have gone 2-2 on the under, and the Panthers are 3-1 hitting the under. So I like the under in this one, maybe like an 18-15 type of game, just a real ugly bunch of field goals. We're probably going to see Jake Bates out there doing his thing, padding his stats, making himself look really good for that NFL opportunity. So Michigan 1.5, plus 1.5, under 40 on the points, and Michigan money line plus 100. That's what I got for you guys this week, man. I feel pretty damn good about all of these picks. There's a couple in there I'm not, I could flip flop either way. Brahma's Renegades. That one's probably the trickiest game to pick a winner because it feels like the Renegades are due. They play very well for about 3 or 4 quarters, and then something happens at the end of the game, or somebody drops a ball, or somebody misses a field goal. They just kind of seem like a cursed team right now. So Brahmas are not cursed. So we're going with the Brahmas. And I like the Brahmas coach more than I like the Renegades coach. Wade Phillips, Bob Stoops. So let's get to the parlay, folks. This is the one. This is the one. All right. We're going 1-4 this week on the parlay. 3 legs. Let's go. We always got to start it out Stallions money line. Okay. We're pumping them odds up with an easy peasy, nice little bet. Give me over 42.5 in the Brahmas Renegades game. Like I said, I think that one will be a bit of a shootout. Might come down to the last possession. And then give me the Defenders plus 3 at home. The home dog. It just feels like a recipe for success. They're underdogs. They're at home.